Hi, and welcome to the FilmFem Podacast.
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Welcome back.
Yeah, we're talking about But I'm a Cheerleader, 1999. And I'm going to go through questions.
Everybody say their name.
Yeah, everybody say your name.
You first.
I'm Todd.
I'm Caroline.
I'm Catherine.
I'm Sarah.
Alright, do we just want to jump in?
Yes.
Okay, so first question. How has female sexuality been depicted in films of the past? And how does But I'm a Cheerleader differ? I mean, does it represent the idea better?
So, I would one of the most popular films, at least that I've seen before 1999, that really depicts sexuality as a whole, but definitely female sexuality is in there, is the Rocky Horror Picture Show, with Janet specifically. And we were talking about this earlier, but that one was such an outlandish display of sexuality, female sexuality for the time, that it wasn't popular when it first came out, but then now, of course, it's considered the cult classic film. So that it's different representation, because it's not this one I think is more realistic to what I imagine is the experience of realizing that you might be gay, and then talking to your parents about it, and then I guess this one's kind of outlandish too, because she goes to this crazy conversion therapy, but that's a real thing that I mean more so happened a little bit ago, but still, I mean, as we were talking about earlier, happens illegally sometimes today, in Christian or camps, or something like that.
Yeah.
When talking about movies before 1999, I would say I think of a lot more classics, probably from the 50s to the 60s, which is more of a soft-spoken representation of women's sexuality in the aspect that they don't have any. And when Marilyn Monroe was put on the scene, and she was the bombshell, she was the sex icon for women, and men were obsessed with her. In a lot of the movies she plays the ditzy blonde, but a theme within each movie that she's in with that character is the fact that she is the one that has most control over what's happening because of that. And I think that's a really common theme where women are, I don't know if the word weaponizing their sexuality is the correct term. I think it just depends.
Using it for their advantage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And movies depict that either good or bad. So,
I think even with Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, her and is it Jane Russell is the other lady? Them, they both use, of course there's not outward displays of sexuality, but they're both, by the way that they walk around, how they perform, there's an inherent sexual nature in that, but it's you said, more subtle and less overt than directly talking about sexuality or directly talking about sex. They don't really mention it, but it's in the subtext. It's kind of there,
she disappears in a room and they both come out of it, depiction of it.
Yeah, I don't know, it's this weird paradox where it's on one hand you have the damsel in distress kind of stereotype where it's women are kind of valued because they're very they're innocent, they're pure, very virginal, right? But then on the other hand, like you said, you have your femme fatales, you have your bombshells. Their worth really comes from being eye candy for men.
But then sometimes they grab that back, and use it for themselves.
Yeah, which I feel like this movie does that pretty well, because it's the entire narrative is that they're being punished for being gay or sexual deviants.
Sexual deviance.
I mean,
I like that.
Iconic wording.
Yeah, but it's at the end of the film, it's that's what the people in the film are doing, but it's very obvious that it's just because you think that, it's but this is powerful to us.
Yeah.
Our sexuality is power, and we don't need your approval for that. What does this film have to say about masculinity versus femininity, and how we apply these stereotypes to the people around us?
I think something that's interesting about this film, and kind of the whole idea of "but I'm a cheerleader" is that if you're a cheerleader, then you can't possibly be gay because you're girly and you're around women all the time, and like you're just so like that's just like the opposite of being gay. But no, like you can, at least that like that's the idea of like in the film is like that's what the "but I'm a cheerleader" is. Just like, but that, of course, the main character challenges that idea because she is a girly girl. She's a cheerleader. She always has her little pastel colors. She always has her hair super cute. But she's gay, like, and she's a lesbian, and she's a feminine lesbian, and you don't have to like look a certain way to like women, or you don't have to look a certain way if you're a gay man, or if you're transgender, or if you're asexual, or whatever. Like, you don't have to look a certain way. You can look however you want and be whatever you want. So I think that she's a really good representation of you can be somebody that's girly and also be a lesbian and like women as well.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna kind of say the same thing. Like I don't know, like there's no one way to like look gay.
Yeah.
You know, like anybody can be gay. It doesn't like matter. You don't have to like act a certain way or dress a certain way. Like I don't know, like, and I feel like today's people still. I feel like it's less so today. People say, like, you look gay. But
well, like in recent times.
Yeah.
You know, or like in the last like 20-something years.
Yeah, the
of,
like the stereotypical looks of what
like a gay
people
person,
think.
Like if
they
you
are.
like women, you have to assume the masculine role, and therefore you have to be masculine.
Yeah, like
but
there always has to be like, you know, like
a man and a woman.
Yeah,
But I feel like there are still like certain things that people stereotype as like gay, like carabiners, like.
Wait, like what?
Carabiners, like
What's that?
Like if you were
Kia Souls.
Kia Souls, Subarus.
I know my bestie here at Belmont. She's gay and she has a Subaru, and her whole family has Subarus, and her dad's like, yeah, I'm like a lesbian trapped in a man's body on a Subaru.
Yeah, like I feel like there's still things like even though we less so are like.
Oh yeah.
Look at. I feel like.
Or if a guy's wearing really short shorts.
Yeah.
Not like Paul Mescal, but like where.
Yeah.
I feel like there's still things that are like stereotypes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there always will be, and that's like the thing. Like.
I think it also like has something to do with like how like we value like people as well.
Yeah.
Like I mean like specifically in the movie it's like women, right? It's like you have the main character Megan, who like you said is like the very like stereotypical like girly girl. And like throughout the movie like they're like talking about all these things. So like, oh well, you know, like you're still bad but you're better.
Yeah.
And then you have
Because at least you look the part.
Yeah, because then you have like the other like main lead, Graham, you know, who's like the very like masculine one, and they're like, oh yeah, like she's like, you know, she's bad news, like, you know, like she's like a punk, right?
Yeah.
A punk.
Yeah, no, I mean,
literally just because she has short hair.
and she smokes cigarettes, guys.
Yeah.
You know,
Like,
Oh my god.
Like
And only men can do that.
Yeah.
only men can have short hair and smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, as long as you're passing, like it's fine. Like,
Yeah. I would say those are kind of the main things. Like, just the ideas that the film challenges of you can like women and be feminine, you can like men and be masculine. You don't have to, there doesn't have to be a woman archetype and a man archetype in every relationship. It can, both can be girly, both can be masculine. You can be straight and be masculine.
You can wear pink and be gay.
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
You can wear pink and be a boy. Like,
Yeah. How do the experiences of womanhood differ for like straight and queer women? And kind of like, how does the film present this?
I just think of like the wedding scene, but more in the sense of like growing up. Like when you're little, like I would say there isn't that much of a difference when you're like a toddler, like obviously.
Yeah, or like
Unless
kindergarten.
exactly, and especially like as a female lesbian, like one that wouldn't be like.
as opposed to a male lesbian.
Sorry, that's not what I meant to say feminine, like very feminine. I meant to say very feminine lesbian, like you, I don't know, like you only really notice or like there would be like a difference in like, and this is speaking as a straight woman, by the way, so, but you know, like when you start to like notice that you like different things, or it's like, oh, like, and we talked about this in the last podcast where it's like, oh, I like trucks and stuff like that. I was like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like do whatever you want.
I was gonna say, I feel like as a straight woman, my family, I think, would love me no matter what. But like I know in some families, like they assume that their kids are straight. They want their kids to be straight, and it's kind of a celebration when they have their first girlfriend or their first boyfriend or whatever, and it's like, yay, you're straight. But I think, and that's more so a thing back then. Today, people are a little bit, in general, more accepting, but still, there's a lot of people that still think that way. And in the film, when she kind of starts to have those realizations, and she's like, "No, I'm not gay. I'm a cheerleader." No, I'm not gay. I think it depicts the questioning and then the negative connotation that the parents have of, "Oh, you're gay. That's bad." Not, of course, again, not saying that every parent reacts that way, but I know there's a lot of people that, at least from what I've heard, that their parents still react that way.
Yeah, in the same vein, I think especially the beginning of the film, does a really good job of kind of othering Megan, because she's totally oblivious to it, right? The whole beginning scene, she has she has a naked woman in her locker.
Yeah.
She's just that's normal. But it's obviously it's not.
Yeah.
So I think it just does a really good kind of subtle way of being she's different, she's doing all these different things, and it's maybe that othering can be relatable to people. In the queer community.
I like that othering, that word, othering.
It's foreboding.
Yeah.
It feels bad to I don't know. The othering.
New Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Oh my god.